Hello everybody, King Wizard here again with another casual Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. Um, this is going to be a Skull Servant deck, and it's going to use Light Sworns as a mill engine to get them into the grave. I'm also using Mizuki, so if all three of the kings get milled, then you can just use Mizuki's effect to special him from the grave. Um, I do feel like this deck is pretty casual as a deck. I mean, it is fairly consistent in what it does, and what it does can be kind of, it can be powerful, but I don't feel like having a beat stick on the field isn't necessarily something extremely competitive, um, unless you can pull it off in turn one or turn two or three. Then I don't think you're gonna have much of a chance against most top tier decks. So I do consider it very casual for that reason. Um, so to get started, I'm running three of just the normal Skull Servants, three Kings, three Lady Whites, three White Mare, and three White Prince. White Prince is definitely the addition that this sort of deck needed. Um, I had a friend who played Skull Servants normally before White Prince came out, and White Prince definitely shifted his deck from being uh, really slow and pretty easy to face to being holy shit, he can get out a pretty big beat stick in like turn three pretty consistently. Um, then I have three Raiden. Raiden is definitely the best miller in the Light Sworns. Uh, his ability to pretty much mill four in one turn versus the normal three that a Light Sworn has, but also the ability to have to mill two just by activating his effect, which means that if you want to synchro with him, you can still mill at least two. Or if you special him from the grave with Lumina, then you can still activate his effect to mill two as well. Then I'm running three Mizuki for the reason stated earlier. It's mainly to be able to bring back King of the Skull Servants. Um, three Lila, one Felice, Lightsworn Archer, and three Lumina. I decided to run one Felice because I feel like any more would kind of be cloggy, and I do feel like a deck like this might need some extra, almost like some extra destruction capabilities, because again, all this deck really can do is bring out a beat stick that, if they have anything that is any way indestructible, then you're kind of gonna be screwed. Or if it can't be destroyed by battle, then again you're gonna be kind of screwed. So that's kind of where Felice comes in, although that is probably the only option that you're gonna have. Um, two Magical Merchant. This deck doesn't run many spell and traps, so it's probably gonna mill a lot. Although my experiences with Magical Merchant have been really bad. I've ran decks with a fewer spell and trap count than this, and milled one target, and then my next card was, I think, a trap. But that's just my luck. Magical Merchant's also pretty slow in the fact that it needs to be attacked into. Um, Most people won't do that. I mean, yeah, you can flip it next turn, but then you have a dead Magical Merchant on your field. It's better to be in the grave. Um, and it being a level 1 means it doesn't have any real like level synergy or anything like that, and this isn't a chaos deck, so the fact that it's light doesn't matter that much. Um, then we have three Curry Bandits, because again, this deck does run spell and traps, and none of them are really expendable. None of them can get their effects from the grave, although I do side three breakthrough skills. Um, but yeah, the spell and traps that I do run, you're going to need to grab. Then one Soul Charge, one Foolish Burial. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Two Book of Lives, just in case if it's early game and you didn't happen to mill a single Mizuki, and you happen to have a Book of Life in hand, then you can go ahead and special out a King if necessary. And then three Safe Zone. Um, Safe Zone is always a card that I like in a Skull Servant deck because it it protects your king. Yeah, it sucks that he can't attack directly, but it pretty much guarantees that he's going to be on the board for a while. Meaning that they're not going to be able to really get over him without wasting some resources on something that might have been better elsewhere. Um, this is actually a second version of the deck that I have built just recently. I'll show you the other version. This version is without the milling. Well, it does run Curry Bandit still, but it uses the effects from Dark Grepher, Armageddon Knight, and Mathematician to get them to the grave, rather than the Lightsworns. This version, it's a little bit slower. It takes more time to set up, and it definitely leaves more cards on your field, but it's safer. It's not. I feel like if anything, it would be more consistent in the long run than the Lightsworns, just because with milling, you're taking that chance. You're taking that. You're rolling the dice with that. And I'm also running 3 Dark World Dealings to help for draw power and to get something out of your hand. 2 Mask Change 2s, because going into Dark Law would always be great, in my opinion, and the fact that it discards White Prince does get its effect from discarding due to Mask Change. And I do mean the discard part. I don't mean normal summon White Prince and then use Mask Change on the White Prince. I mean discarding White Prince for the cost of Mask Change 2 gets its effect. I'm also running 2 Rhodas to search out the 3 Dark Greffers and the 3 Armageddon Knights. The downside to Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher is that they can't send Mizuki. They can only send dark targets, and Mizuki being Earth is, the only way that you can get him to the grave is either with Mask Change 2, Dark World Dealings, or Mathematician. And then I'm running 3 Safe Zone as well in this build. And I'm also, again, this side deck is the same just because I had built the deck on top of the other deck. This deck also can go into Lava Volcane a lot easier than the other build can. And so Lava Vault Chain is another way to get a Mizuki into the grave if necessary. So yeah, I don't feel like I need to go into any more detail. It's pretty self-explanatory how the deck works. Just get as many Skull Servants and Whites as you can to the grave to boost up your king. So that's going to be it. I don't really want to duel with this deck just because, you guys obviously know how it works. And thanks for watching. See you later.